Elon Musk's SpaceX rocket, the world's biggest and most powerful rocket, finally lifted off in the last hour. But very soon after launch in Texas, in fact just minutes into this test flight, the rocket blew up. SpaceX are hoping the rocket will be the first step to bring humans to Mars. Well, let's take you straight to the United States now and talk to our correspondent, Toni Waterman in Austin in Texas, who's been watching events for us. Toni, this is all very dramatic. Just talk us through what we're seeing and seemingly what went wrong.
Yeah, Jamie, this was incredibly thrilling to be watching here. As you mentioned, it didn't exactly turn out the way that some people had hoped for, but this is still seen as a really successful launch because Elon Musk himself, who owns SpaceX, had been saying that if we can get this rocket off the launch pad, then that will be successful. And it did much more than that. It traveled 3 minutes and 59 seconds before there was an unscheduled disassembly, which is just fancy speak for an explosion. It deteriorated up in the sky. We could see as it took off from the launch pad that some of the booster's 33 engines did not appear to be functioning. There were some black holes in the booster area. So this could be part of the problem. We're still waiting to find out exactly what SpaceX says caused this explosion. But when it got up to about the 3-minute mark, this was when the booster and the Starship were meant to separate, and it started to go into this spiral. Some of those spirals were intentional. That's what it was supposed to do. But it very quickly became apparent that something was wrong. It started really spiraling, and then we had this massive explosion. SpaceX, the Coast Guard, they're going to be going to collect the debris from this rocket to try to get an understanding exactly what went wrong. But this is, again, really seen as a very successful launch. Almost 4 minutes into this on its maiden voyage, this is an extraordinarily difficult thing to do. This is the most powerful rocket that has ever been built. Those 33 engines, it has a thrust of 6 million pounds, so that's about 7 million kilograms. And just to kind of put that into perspective for you, that is 5 times more powerful than the rocket that sent astronauts to the moon. It is also the largest rocket that has ever been constructed. It's about 30 meters taller than the Statue of Liberty, and really crucially here, it is meant to be fully reusable. So that could dramatically cut down on the costs of space travel, not just for humans and cargoes, but for businesses as well. So there was a lot of cheering even as this rocket was exploding from inside SpaceX headquarters here in Texas, because, again, this was not expected to ever be a rocket that finished out its mission, eventually splashing down in the waters off of Hawaii.
Toni, SpaceX will obviously learn from this, and we're waiting for interviews from the team in the next couple of minutes. What do they eventually hope to achieve?
Well, it's different things for different people. So SpaceX, its founding principle is that it wants to be able to not only send people to Mars, but also to colonize the red planet. This is a dream of Elon Musk. For NASA, this is about sending astronauts back to the surface of the moon. Americans have not been there since the early 1970s, and they have contracted with SpaceX to deliver those astronauts, deliver the cargo up to that area. But it could also have a profound impact on the way that we travel here on Earth, because the hope is that this type of technologies, these rockets, could make it easy to travel here. So about an hour to get anywhere on the planet, because you would kind of go out of orbit to go to your final destination. So it could have a profound impact on the way that we operate here. And again, it's about cutting costs. Space travel has really been reserved up until now for very rich individuals or companies with deep pockets. This would dramatically reduce the cost of doing business, which means that we could see a lot more smaller companies using space in some sort of way. Also, people traveling to space in some sort of way. So there's a lot of hope and a lot of dreams that are behind this project. And today is really one of those very crucial steps in making those dreams a reality.
Toni, thank you for that. We'll come back to you later in the hour. Our correspondent, Toni Waterman, in Austin, in Texas.